I did a video on this a couple of days ago because this was, to me, hilarious. We actually have Deadline magazine 7 days after this movie opened. 7 days after this movie opened. Already had an article researched, written, and published saying that, well, it could still break even. I've never seen this from Deadline or anybody else, a trade of this caliber calling out a major $250 million Disney film. I mean, we had Ant-Man earlier, and that's another problem because they're stacking up for Disney, these giant flop bomb losses. And I see just real quick, just went over 1,000 people watching in the live stream. Thank you for being here. Please smash the like button. Share this sucker out to everybody out there, the Twitters and the Facebooks and all those social medias. So let's talk about this. Little Mermaid, they're basically at this point, they're just giving up, right? Hollywood trades are giving up. They know this is a disaster for Disney. And people are like, oh, it did another this and that, another thing. Okay, I know. I got the box office up here. In fact, I'll go back and pull it up. Let me back out here real quick. Let's pull it up. This was the weekend, right? Spider-Verse 120, Little Mermaid, 40 million on its second weekend. That's about a 60% drop, which is, it's not the end of the world, but it's not good. 58% drop is still pretty bad. The problem is it only started with 95 million on its first 3 days, 118 million over the 4 days with Memorial Day. So as a reminder, in 3 days, Spider-Verse beat Little Mermaid over the first 4 days. So 120 million in 3 days for Spider-Verse, 118 million in 4 days for Little Mermaid. Now, next problem, as we said, the international box office just isn't there for it. So this is where it stands now, 326, and people think, oh, that looks great. This is after 10 days. 326 million is what this movie should have done easily in the first 3 to 4 days, considering Beauty and the Beast, considering what Lion King did. I'm going to ask y'all a quick question. When y'all think back, give me your top 2 favorite Disney princesses. And we'll start with Lorena. Go.
Top 2 would be, excuse me, Jasmine and Aurora. Sleeping
Okay.
Beauty.
Mandy?
Aurora and Belle.
Kara?
Mulan and oh my god, I just had it in my head. Belle.
Okay. Arwen?
Ariel.
Based on her
Aurora.
hair. Yeah.
Yeah, Ariel's my girl. And Aurora.
Okay. Michelle?
Ariel and Belle.
So, we've had 2 people say Ariel. We've had 3 people say Belle. We've had Jasmine. We've had 2 people say Aurora. So you see my point is that Ariel has always been one of those top 2 or 3 Disney princess, top favorites, along with Belle. And this is why I was going to say
Anastasia, but I didn't get to make a pick.
Oh,
I love Anastasia.
I'm with you, Kara. I love that movie. In fact, my wife's been trying to do like a junior version of the musical for it. It's great. I love that.
She's not considered like a Disney princess, though, is she?
Oh, Disney bought her. We don't want to go into how that worked, but they bought that princess.
Well, that was part of the Fox deal.
Yeah,
that's right.
Princess Council does not recognize Anastasia.
Yeah,
she has not yet been put in front of the castle, but perhaps one day.
Well, here's my point: and this is why I go back and this movie should be compared to Beauty and the Beast. That opened a 3-day weekend in March. It didn't get the benefit of a summer opening blockbuster. It didn't get the benefit of a 4-day Memorial Day weekend. It opened in March. Aladdin opened over Memorial Day in 2019. Belle opened in March of 2017, or Beauty and the Beast. That opened to, I think, 377 million in that 3-day. Ariel, the second best-selling, or maybe the top best-selling princess. I mean, throw of that classic 90s era, throw like Anna and Elsa out for a minute with Frozen. Obviously, that went bonkers. Little Mermaid has always been a huge top seller for Disney. Just consistently for years, for decades. 326 million after 10 days instead of 370 some odd million for Beauty and the Beast in 3 days 6 years ago, which is like 500 plus million today. Where are we at with this? What do y'all think on this?
I'm sorry.
like
I just had to show you this.
Oh,
Aw.
Pretty.
Yay! This is a designer Ariel collector doll that I bought
Oh.
15 years ago.
wow.
Look
Now
at
that's
that.
really nice.
I remember that
Stunning.
collection.
Look at that with the
So where
Stunning.
is that? Is that from Disney itself, or is that a third party that licensed it? And made
No,
it?
this is actually from the Disney store back when they were making stuff that was worth a damn.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
bought this from the Disney store. Literally had a cast member hustle me up one because this is
So
limited
beautiful.
edition of like 8,000. I have like number 2,000. So
Oh wow!
nice.
Oh, that had to cost a pretty penny then. That is really nice. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Every now and again, you know, we got to go to these parks, and we have to you know indulge in our guilty pleasures. Of course, Lorena knows what I had my daughter bring home.
oh,
she's
you
seen
know,
that
what? I
before.
gotta get that one. The
Oh.
Lucius Malfoy.
Yeah, I beat you to it.
Ah,
I don't
you
even live
did.
in Orlando, and I beat you to it. When my oldest kid had her senior trip in high school this year, they went to Orlando, and she's like, "Do you want me to get anything?" I was like, "Where are you right now?" She's like, "I'm by Borgin and Burke's." I'm like, "Matter of fact, you got my credit card, right?" I was like, "Do they still have it? How much is it?" And I'm like, "I swear it got cheaper because I don't remember it being. It was like $150. I didn't remember. I thought it was more expensive the last time I was there, but that was 6-7 years ago. I don't know if they.
That's
changed it.
awesome.
But I'm like, well, you drove. I mean, it's like you can get that home. I mean, they went on a bus, so I'm like, it's not like she had to bring it on a plane or something like that.
Wow.
I'm like, she's like, Dad, do you? I'm tired of hearing you like whine about this. You just want me to get it? I'm like, yes. So I'm like, so she came home. I'm like, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I was so excited. I was like a kid again. So, but anyway, back to this. This movie, $250 million budget that we know of, right? Another $150 million in global market expend. I think it could be more. And
Well-
you know, you and I talked about this last year with Wakanda Forever. You want to remind everybody what happened last year with that and Strange World that we discussed. We hypothesized on this, and then we kind of found out that that's basically what happened.
Sure. So because Disney found out that Strange World was not going to do well, they had that in their projections. They realized it due to their own internal findings. They made the decision to essentially curtail the spending that had already been allocated to Strange World and instead put that into the marketing for Black Panther Wakanda Forever, thereby hiding a bit how much that movie actually needed to make to turn a profit because they had, they had moved it from a different film without necessarily saying so publicly.
Indeed. Basically, we had heard that Wakanda Forever was approaching a 1-to-1 spend, production to marketing, meaning that we knew that they had spent about $250 making it, and the marketing spend was approaching $200 to $250 at that point. They really put, because again, Disney had not had a massive hit like they wanted to. They were desperate to cross that $1 billion mark. This is a company that has enjoyed being king of the box office, right, for years, almost a solid decade through 2010 and 2020. And they're getting their lunch eaten right now by Universal on a variety of things. We're going to get to that in a little bit. I mean, the theme parks, the movie theaters, Universal is just curb stomping the Walt Disney Company this year, like beyond belief. But this is a movie that's got to get to at least around $800 million, $800 million worldwide to break even.
And I just want to say this movie should have been $1 billion movie.
Easily.
Yes,
have.
easily.
Oh,
With
yeah.
ease. People love Ariel, have loved Ariel since 1989. There's a huge base of people, age groups that would have enjoyed this movie. And I'm beginning to like, and I don't know how well it will do. It depends on if the movie's good or not. I'm liking to compare this to, it's kind of a versus this year, Little Mermaid versus Barbie. Barbie thus far, I've not seen the movie, so I can't
I was going to
judge
bring that up.
if
I'm
it's
glad
good.
you did.
But Barbie, compare the two. One is very identifiable. It's like, that's Barbie. Like, that's the world that I imagine when I think of Barbie. That's it. And they're giving us that compared to the Little Mermaid. And everything about the Little Mermaid just, it feels off. Like, it just doesn't
You mean you
look
didn't
like
see Saving Private Ryan being under the ocean? That wasn't your color palette of choice for a small child's movie.
Yeah, it's just not
Yeah.
right. It doesn't scream, this is Ariel, this is the Little Mermaid, and it just doesn't. And I think when you compare the two, one gave the audience exactly what they wanted as far as visual, and one did not. And I think we'll kind of see how that goes at the box office.
How dare you? Scuttle is the new CGI character of our generation.
That thing is nightmare inducing. It is
This
nightmare
should have been a no-brainer for Disney. This should have been a no-brainer. And the thing that frustrates me the most is when I watched this, which I think part of the reason I think it did even as well as it did in the beginning is because there's always that level of curiosity to see how a live action adapts.
Right.
So people are interested. They want to go see it. Well, then once you see it, nowadays you got to have rewatchability.
I don't know if that's actually what is hurting them. Is I've watched when Disney started the live action, we're gonna revisit all of these classics. Every one I watched, I've been let down by. I mean, yes, every single one I watched, and I'm like, the original was much better than that. Going from Aladdin to Beauty and the Beast to The Lion King, I mean, it goes on and on. I'm wondering if at this point they haven't gotten to where people are just like, especially once you see Scuttle and you see the way these critters look, these under the sea critters, they are terrifying. The fish don't look right. It looks cold. It looks dead. It's like done in the Dead Sea or something. It looks horrible. And I'm wondering if that's not half the cause. Like
it is. You go from Buddy Hackett to Aquafina. Brainiac said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to take Scuttle and we're going to make him the most annoying human on the planet. That'll bring us money.
He was already annoying, and they exceeded that.
Okay, that's not moving on the ocean floor. He's going like he's, on a jet ski.
Yeah, on one scene he takes off at 30 miles per hour for no apparent reason and with no backstory or explanation. He just does it. It's like a CGI artist said, you know what, we got to get this guy from one spot to the other. Yeah. They don't care. Who cares about this movie anymore?
It looked lazily done. And I mean, I'm just wondering if that's not, if people... Because even if I had thought it was going to be good, like that alone would have, like, if I wasn't like, I'm not messing with Disney anymore to begin with, when I saw that alone would have told me I ain't watching this. It looks like crap.
Well, the big thing about these live action remakes, and this is what I tell people, the live action remakes outside the Jungle Book, because I love that. That was actually like the Rudyard Kipling book. They are not getting the soul of the animated version in these stories. Like the Little Mermaid, granted, Ariel's like my number three princess. I remember all of those songs.
Yeah.
I used to sing them, kind of buzz a little bit with my college friends at Disney World during the Ariel sing-along, so everyone knows the songs. Yeah. This movie, the songs are soulless. Halle Bailey, she's got a beautiful voice, but that rendition of Part of Your World, screw that. I don't even feel any kind of longing like we did in the original animated version.
You didn't leave the theater singing Scuttlebutt? You didn't.
I would rather listen to the worst mumble rapper right now on perpetual repeat than ever hear that Scuttlebutt song again. Miranda, screw that. No,
I especially, my ears love the part where she's like, wah, wah.
Oh God.
Here's how bad it was. Here's how bad it was. If people actually, we make fun of Rotten Tomatoes, right? I get that because they're not 100% accurate with how they handle, especially audience scores.
Well, they keep trying to manipulate the scores every time we say we don't like a movie. That might have something to do with us not liking.
We covered that last week.
They're shady.
But here's the thing: is that if you went into some of those top critic reviews and you actually read some of those things, and you've actually looked at the internet and see what some of these very high-profile reviewers and Hollywood types are saying, Lin-Manuel Miranda lost some street cred with this big time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, now I've never thought he was all that. Okay. Oh, Hamilton. I'm like, whatever. It just wasn't my cup of tea. That's fine. If you like it, I don't hate you for it. It wasn't my thing. But it's like
Hamilton, but he dropped the ball on this one. I mean, it's an Alan Menken original score. Exactly. How can you F up an Alan Menken score? But apparently they did it in this movie.
And Alan Menken helped him.
Exactly.
So
Well,
one thing
perhaps
I would
it
like
will.
to
weren't
Yeah.
from the original, the songs that they added. I mean, why the heck does Eric need a song? Why does he need a song?
He doesn't need
He's
a song.
sitting there singing, and I'm going, this is adding zero to this film, but length.
He acted like he had emotional issues when he sang it too. It was like, what's going on here? This man has some serious,
Because that
They-
wasn't
serious
Eric
nation
either.
issues.
That wasn't Eric either. I'm
They
sorry, I'll die
wait a
on that
minute.
hill.
So, or when they dropped the chef song, Les Poissons song, they dropped that to give this dude this emo freaking number. You kidding me?
Yes, and I'm like, I don't care. You're absolutely right. Bring the chef. And the rendition of "Kiss the Girl," which basically, before it had all the fish and all the waterfowl and all of them, and the fireflies, and it was this big swelling orchestra, and it was just like, kiss that girl, dang it, kiss that girl. And now you've got Scuttle, Aquafina Scuttle, Flounder Fish Fillet, and Sebastian. And then it sounded almost like a kazoo or something. I mean, it was terrible.
It sounded like Aquafina.
Renegade.